Hey guys, my name is Taras Makar, and today we are going to talk about VDB files in Cinema4D. It's not going to be my usual tutorial. We are not going to create this scene from scratch. We are just going to talk about clouds in C4D and how to create this type of objects here. So, of course, you can create your VDB objects here from scratch, but much easier way is just to download them. And if we are talking about clouds, you can go and you can download this pack, free VDB clouds pack. The link to this pack will be in the description of the tutorial, so you can just follow the link, download it, and use all of these nice clouds for your projects because they are completely free. And you can use them commercially or for your own projects. So let's go to Cinema4D, and to start with we need to go to Redshift, Objects, and create Redshift Volume. So choose Redshift Volume, go to Path, and choose VDB file that you downloaded. For example, I will use Cloud 9. And now if we will look at our scene, we can see that some small box was created, but first of all, it's pretty small. Second of all, it's not the cloud we downloaded. So what is this? It's a container for our VDB object, and we can go to preview and choose points. Now we have points, and they represent the shape of our cloud. And so we could see it better, we can increase maximum points from 10, for example, to 100. But still, it's pretty small. If I create cube, we can see that it's a super small cloud, and there are no such small clouds. So let's increase its size, go to coordinates, and put here 100 by 100 by 100. So now it's much better, and now we can see the shape of our cloud and how it would look. Let's open Redshift. Let's start render view, and as you can see, we don't see anything over here. Even if I create, for example, a plane, you can see our VDB file over here. So why can't we see it? Because VDB files are volumes, and they need some special treatment from our side, and they don't look like geometry or other objects in Cinema. So in order to see it, and in order so we would be able to render it, we need to do several things. First of all, we need to create special material that is called volume. Let's create this material, put it on Redshift Volume, and still there is nothing. So if we select Redshift Volume and go to Object, here you can see information, channels, density. Sorry about that. There could be other channels, for example, like temperature or other channels that could be in a VDB file. But usually with clouds, it's just density because we don't need anything else. And for example, like temperature, it could be in the pyro file, where it is a simulation of a fire. But here it would be usually just density. So we need to tell our Redshift Volume that it needs to take this information from VDB file and convert it to texture, to image. So let's choose Redshift Volume node, go to Basic, and here in Channel, choose Presets, Redshift Volume, Density. Then go to Absorption, go to Color Channel, Presets, Redshift Volume, Density. And still we can see nothing, but if I create plane, now you can see that at least we can see the shape of our cloud, so something has changed. And now, how can we make it so we could see it actually? Now we need to create a light for our volume object. So let's go and create dome light. We create a dome light, and now finally we can see our VDB cloud normally over here in our render view. So how does it work? If you select dome light, go to details, you can see here in contribution all the things that dome light contributing to. First of all, for example, it's camera. If I turn it off, we won't see any dome light over here. And yeah, by the way, if you have versions older than 2025.2, you won't see this camera over here. It appeared only in 2025.2 or later versions, I think. Yeah, and the other things, for example, diffuse, how it contributes to diffuse colors, etc., etc., reflection, transmission, and here is volume. And if I turn volume off, you can see that we actually can't see our cloud. We can see only shape of it. It's completely dark, and it means that it doesn't have any light sources. So yeah, that's the way our light contribute to clouds. And for example, you can use it in the way if I create area light, and I want only area light to affect my cloud, I can go to dome light, turn off volume, and now you can see that only area light affects my VDB file. I can make it, for example, red, and yeah, now you can see that only area light affects it, but we're not going to use it that way. Let's put over here 1, and let's work with that. So I will turn off my dome light. I don't need it. And let's see what can we do with this cloud. Let's open our material, go to basic, and over here we have basically two options. So scatter and absorption. Also there is emission, but usually I don't think you would need it with clouds. So yeah, these are two basic options, and you can think about them. Scatter is something like diffuse. For example, if I make it bigger, my cloud would get much brighter. And absorption is something like transparency. For example, if I make it, if I increase this number, my cloud would get much darker, and in the contrary, if I decrease this number, it would also get much brighter. So let's put it back, 1 and 1 over here. Also we have tint, so with tint we can make our cloud some different color, for example red or blue or anyone you want. But much better way, I would say, that to change it in absorption. And if I make it red over here, you can see that it gives much better result. The other way, we can change these knots, and for example, if I make this ramp from black to pink, you can see how it affects our cloud a little bit differently. The one thing I wouldn't recommend you doing is to change, for example, in absorption this node, because if I make it even like so, okay, it doesn't work that way for some reason. Yeah, usually if I changed this node even a little bit, cloud became like super red, maybe because of this. Let's no, anyway, but usually, yeah, when I changed the color of this node, the cloud became like super saturated, and for some reason it doesn't work that way now. Well, anyway, let's move on. And yeah, these are the ways you can affect color of the cloud. And the other thing, if you would look at our cloud now, you can see that it doesn't look exactly like a cloud. It looks more like a cotton, like, I don't know, like a sweet cotton or something, and it doesn't look too naturally. So how we can change it? Actually, it's pretty easy. You can go to advanced, and here you can remap these parameters, and basically parameters that we need would be this old max. And for example, if I increase it, you can see that our cloud changes pretty dramatically, and here it looks completely different, because now it was like pretty dense, and if I put 10 over here, it looks much more cloudy. So yeah, this parameter, if you increase the size of your volume object, here we increased it like 100 times, you need to increase this old max over here. So for example, if I put it 100 over here, now you can see that we have like much better looking cloud. Yeah, now it has transparency, it has less transparent parts, and yeah, it looks like a cloud. Maybe you don't need to type 100 over here, maybe a little less, for example 50, and still it would look much better than we had it before. And now, for example, you can try and change. Oh yeah, okay, now I get why it didn't work, because the cloud was too dense. And for example, if I change this node over here, even for 3% or even for 1%, okay, 1% it looks pretty okay, but even if I put 2 or 3, now you can see that it's super saturated, and yeah, now it becomes like very dark. So yeah, better for more realistic results, you can change, for example, this node, and you could see that cloud becomes like a little bit reddish, or you can combine these two, and for example here, let's choose something like a little bit more blue, and you can actually get pretty nice results, more artistic and more graphic results with pretty nice looking gradient. And yeah, that's basically all the things how you can work with VDB files by changing these 3 parameters: absorption over here, density, scatter over here. You can make it lighter, make it darker, make it more saturated, and remapping over here. And in that way, changing these 3 parameters, you can make the clouds you would need for your project. And with combination with lights and other objects, it can give you like super interesting and super nice looking results. So yeah, and the last thing I want to talk if how to render, how to actually render clouds. You don't need to make anything more to render it. If you have this cloud in your scene and you just press render, it would render as it looks now. But one detail, it would render, it needs much more sample than other objects. For example, if I go over here, for example, for 64 and 128 samples, 128 samples, I would be pretty sure that it would be too small number for rendering this cloud in a good, so it would look pretty good without noise and without any artifacts. So in order to render it with better quality, you need to go to overrides, check volume, and here you can type, for example, 512, and in that way all the scene would be rendered with these parameters, with threshold 0, 0, 1, with samples min 64 and samples max 128, but all the volume objects that you have in your scene would be rendered with samples 512. In that way, for example, if you have a scene where the cloud is just some part of somewhere in the corner or above, and it's not like the main object in your scene, then you can render all the scene with much smaller numbers and much faster, and only these parts would be rendered with higher sampling. So in that way you can save a lot of time and render the scene much quicker. So that's basically all I wanted to say and talk with you about VDB files. Please tell me in the comments what do you think about that format, where we don't create the scene from scratch and finishing like having ready animation or just a frame. What do you think about the tutorials where I just explain some things about cinema, for example, like VDB files, or maybe some other instruments or a shift or anything like that? Which one do you prefer? I would be pretty happy to hear your feedback. And for now, that's all I've got. Would be happy to hear from you. Would be happy if you press some like button or subscribe to my channel, and would be happy to continue creating for you tutorials. And actually I would see you in the next one. Bye.